Okay guys, welcome back to another Scrappin' Irish video, and first off I'd like to thank all the new subscribers that I've got in the last while. So I do appreciate you all subscribing, taking the time to comment and join me and give information and ask questions and all that sort of stuff involved in e-waste and gold recovery and taking stuff apart, what to look for, all that sort of stuff. I appreciate you all on that journey. So give the thumbs up if you haven't already. Go on, why not? So there we go. That's the first part out of the way. Then second part, what's the video about? Well, the video this time is about, anyone that's doing this e-waste will know you're going to have build up of waste solutions. Now, I know some people may not be conscious that you should be disposing of these correctly, number one, and secondly, that these waste solutions may still contain valuable metals, may still contain some gold, silver, platinum, copper, stuff like that, that you don't want to be just giving away, pouring it out and stuff like that. So one, the environment, don't pour it down your drains. Secondly, it contains valuable material. So on this video, I'm going to show you how to check first. The first part will be to check to get your precious metals out of your liquids. So I'll be using a container like this. So this is a 5 litre, and the reason I'll be using this container, I have a lot more than 5 litres to deal with, but I'll be just running the video on 5 litres to show you how it works. So you scale it up depending on the amount of liquids you have to deal with. So we'll be putting 5 litres of, well, not quite 5, well, maybe 5. We'll go to 5 litres of waste material liquid from Aqua Regia, because I just separate my liquids out. So you put the Aqua Regia into one container, I put any used nitric acid into another container, and I put any of my copper chloride into a separate container. The copper chloride shouldn't contain gold and stuff like that, because copper chloride can't dissolve it. The nitric acid shouldn't contain gold in there either. It should be silver, maybe you get out of the nitric acid. And the Aqua Regia solutions can have gold, platinum, silver, can have all, and it'll have your copper. Copper chloride will have your copper, and the nitric acid will have your copper. But I'll show you how to get the copper back differently. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to fill this with the liquid. So we're going to go outside now. We're going to show you how I hold my solutions, what container I have for them. The one I'm going to be showing you is the Aqua Regia one, I hope. When I go out and open the container, it might be the nitric one. We'll know when we open it. We'll know by the colour. And I'll show you how to see if you have any precious metals left in there, and how to recover them. So let's go outside and let's recover this material, see what's in it. Right, so as you can see, we have a container here. It's a big, I don't know how many gallon drum that is, that we have in here, and we're going to open it, and hopefully it's the Aqua Regia that's in here and not the nitric acid, because if it isn't, I'll have to go and get my nitric acid from the set, or my Aqua Regia. So we'll just open the pin, gloves are on, and this should take off this lid, so hopefully. Yeah, this is the Aqua Regia. You can see we have a bit of a scum and stuff on it, but that's over time of it building up the material in there, and it's sitting there and heating up outside and stuff like that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this with the liquid. So it's going to be easier to. So it's just a jug, regular jug, and I'm just going to fill the container with it. So while I'm doing that, you can come back once it's filled. So all we're going to do is take the jug, take the water, put it in the container. So you can come back once we've done that. Right, so as you can see, we have 3 litres in so far. I decided to filter the solution because this solution, I have already been doing this process on it, but I want to do it in a smaller version so you can see the process easier with the clear glass than doing it in the big container. So at the moment I'm working on it on the big container, so there's little bits floating around there that I didn't want in there, but so I filtered it. I slipped some of the filter in. Once it's all filtered, we'll fill it up. It will be filled up to the 5 litres. So I'm going to get this started. All you're going to need, guys, is some copper. That's all we're going to need. So what we'll do is, all we're going to do is add this copper in. Some people will bang it flat, some people will have copper plating, some people whatever, copper plates, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter as long as it's copper. It just goes straight into solution. That's all it does. It just goes straight in, sits in the solution. So that's just regular copper pipe. I could bang it flat if I wanted to, but for the moment I'll just leave it like that. You can see where I have already done this copper pipe in solution before, and you can see where it's ate away the copper pipe. So all it does is go straight in there, and that's it. You don't need to do anything else. You can see it's just regular copper pipe. So I just put a pile of that copper pipe into the solution. I will fill it up to the 5 litres, and we will let it sit in that solution. And what will happen is, well, look at what will happen is I will explain in a few minutes. A bit easier than doing it here. I will explain the process in a few minutes, but once I've put in the copper pipe in this, once I fill the solution to 5 litres, I will let that work away. I can already hear the solution fizzing. So again, wear masks and stuff like that, guys. You can see this is the type of thing that was in the solution, because what I'd done was I'd thrown some copper wire in, but the copper wire had the coating on it, so the solution ate the copper wire but left the coating that was on it. So use clean copper, don't use coated copper like I did. Made a mistake doing that, and then I have to end up filtering this. So that's already fizzing away there. No need to add any heat, no need to do anything like that to it. Cover it if you're leaving it outside so no water gets into it, or it's no danger to anyone else or anything like that. And just let it work away. Come back every couple of days, have a look at it, check your copper pipe, just take out the pipe. You might see stuff sticking to it, and that is the metals that is being dispersed out of it. So I'll leave that there. We'll come back in a couple of days, we'll have a look at it, but we'll explain what's the process that's happening here. So let's go. Right, before we get on to explaining what the process is that I'm going through there, I just wanted to give you a little demonstration of something. So again, we want to see if there's any precious metal in that material. So I should have told you that at the very beginning, that we will test it. So that's a sample there that's inside that little tube of the actual liquid that I'm going to be trying to see if there's any precious metal in it, and I'm going to test it for precious metal. So, but I also have, just to show you guys, I have on this little Q-tip, I know for definite that I dip this into a liquid that contains gold. So to show you what the reaction should be, and I'll just drop a little bit of the stannous to get it on the material. So you can see there how that has turned black. So that's telling me that there is precious metal in that material that I as my test sample. So now I want to see if there's any precious metal in the waste material. So that's a sample of the waste material that's in here. Now some of it will get on this here, but I'm not worried about that, because that's why I have that there to soak up any spillages. So we're going to put a little bit on the Q-tip around here and make sure it gets soaked into the Q-tip. Okay, so that's our thing. So again, I'm not expecting this to go instantly black, but I will expect it to turn black eventually to give me a little positive test for some precious metals that I may have missed at some stage. And that's why you never throw away your waste materials, because you could be throwing away some precious metals. So we'll just let this go onto here. Okay, so I'm going to let that settle for a while. You can see there yet, it's still green. There's a little bit of black shown, not an awful lot yet. We'll just put a little bit dab down here where there's a lot of green. Okay, there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that Q-tip settle for a few minutes. You can still see the difference there yet. You can see the difference there on the one that definitely has the gold in it. You can see the colour, how it has turned, and you can see this one is still green. So what I'll do is I'll let them for a while. So when you come back in a few minutes, well, it'll be instantly for you. We'll be able to compare both of them and see the difference, see what has happened. Because it does take a little bit longer for it to react, usually with this material, because it's not as much gold in there as there is in that solution. So let's see what we ended up with. Okay, so what did we end up with? This is the, as I say, this is the one we used as our test one to show what we should be getting, and this is what we've ended up with. So you can see it's not as dark, but there is black in there. So there is some precious metal in the solution, not a lot. So I'm not expecting a lot from the little sample that we're doing, that we're working on, but I'm expecting some in it. So it has come back as positive for it. So that means we will get a little bit out of there. So I did miss some gold in my processes, and that's, as I said, why you don't ever throw away your waste materials without doing what I'm going to be showing you on this video. So there you go, guys. So let's get back to the main part of the video and continue on talking. Right, so this is the science bit, as I was saying out there. This is the bit that we work off. So this is a chart that shows the reactivity of metals and how they go through it. So this shows me here that if by adding in my copper, what should be coming out of the solution is any of these metals that are in that solution. So if I have any platinum, gold or silver, mercury as well, it will be dropped out of the solution, because as the copper dissolves into the solution, it will take the place of any of these metals and force them out of the solution down into, which I can filter out and reprocess again to get any gold I may have missed, any silver, platinums, or even mercury if you wanted to go after the mercury, but it's not something we're going to be looking at. So what I'm going to be trying to get to see if we've any left in that solution is going to be my silver, my gold and platinum. I want to make sure I'm not throwing away those metals. Those precious metals will have a value, but we'll also eventually be able to recover this copper as well, because if we look down through all this, there is other metals that will drop out. So if anything above each other, so if I wanted to drop out platinum out of solution, I can replace it with gold, essentially. That's what they're saying. That's what this is telling me. So that if I knew I had a liquid full of platinum and I wanted to get the platinum out, I could use gold to drop it out. If I knew I had gold, I can use silver to drop it out. Mercury can drop out the silver, copper can drop out the mercury, so on, so on, so on, essentially. And now some of it doesn't drop out as easy as others, so copper will drop out any of those there for me. That's what we're working on. That's why I'm using the copper. So you would have seen in other videos where I've used aluminium, but if I use an aluminium, I'm ending up getting all of this stuff dropped out with my precious metals. So everything from the aluminium down, the magnesium, zinc, chromium, iron, cadmium, cobalt, nickel, tin, lead, bismuth, copper, mercury and all that. So then I have to process more metals to get to these metals. So by just adding the copper, I'm only going to be dropping out anything. So anything that comes out of that solution should be one of these metals. That's essentially what I should be getting. So once the copper is finished reacting in the solution, that's what we will end up with in any of the material that's left. So as I said, I have already been putting copper into the solution in the big tub, so I may have already dropped out most of the precious metals in it, but I wanted to do a smaller one for you guys to see. So let's go out and see how it's progressing so far, and see how the copper is reacting with the solution. So here we are. now did we know, well, not that we know, I've already talked about that, but here we go. As I said, we've the copper swapped out. So what I've done is I swapped out the thicker copper for some thinner copper. I've left it sitting in there for possibly a week, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this copper out. So some of this material could still have little bits of gold particles on there, or precious metals on there, so I'll wash them off into a container and just make sure that we get everything that's on these, because it doesn't seem to be dissolving any more of the copper, so I'm presuming it is completely done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all this copper and we're going to filter the liquid and see what materials are in the bottom of the container after I've done this. So hopefully we will some materials dropped out. As I say, there may not be, because I'm already doing this on a bigger scale. So I just decided to show you what I do, because a lot of people do be asking, what do I do with my liquids? So in case anyone thinks I was just pouring them down drains or anything, I said I'd give you a look at it. So this is the process. So while I'm just going to let that settle for a few minutes, and then I'm going to then you can see there's like a layer down here in the bottom. I don't know, is it easy to see? It looks like there's some material there in the bottom that I've settled out. So we're going to filter this off. So when you come back, we'll have finished filtering and we'll be able to see what's left in the base of the container. So we'll know if there's some metal or some material left, which hopefully will contain some precious metals. So let me get on with the filtering part and you come back when we're done. Okay guys, so I have filtered, completely dried out the material, and this is what I'm left with now that was in the filters after I dried out. And this is still not fully cleaned up properly yet, but I just wanted to show you guys. So there's the material I have. That is not all precious metal, before anyone goes, because again, you can see the colours, a lot of copper in there still. So what I'll do is, once I'm finished doing all my material, so all that full amount of stuff, I'll end up with a lot more of this material, and then I can put that into Aqua Regia and reprocess it. So it doesn't matter that there's a little bit of copper in there and stuff like that. There's still some copper in there from dropping out. Essentially some copper would have dropped out with the precious metals. So that is not all gold bearing material. You could clean that up if you wanted now by washing it a few times in distilled water, and then maybe using hydrochloric acid, and that should get rid of the copper and just leave the precious metals. But I wait till I get a lot more material together before I get on to that next stage. But that's why I don't ever throw away my my liquids, because you want to make sure you get any precious metal. So there is a little bit of gold in there, or silver and stuff like that, so don't ever throw it away, even though that looks like there's still some copper. That will be, I will do a video at some stage when I get a lot more of that material, and we'll see how much gold we would have thrown away if we didn't process the liquid properly. So that's kind of it for this video. That, as I said, this at the very beginning, this is like a two-part video. So this is the first part, making sure you're not throwing away your precious metals. And now on the second video that I'll be doing, I'll be showing you how to get back the copper that is in that solution. So there's a lot of copper probably in that solution, between the copper we used to drop out the precious metals there, and the copper that would have been on the boards, on underneath the RAM and stuff like that. So we need to get all that copper back. We don't want to leave that in the solution, because it has a value, of course, and we want to get to a stage where, as I said, we're going to test the liquid at the very end. It might be on part 2, there might be just a video of the result of the liquid, but because the next video is just going to be on dropping out the copper. And as I already said as well, I probably didn't say it when we were talking about this chart, this chart is very handy to have, guys. So just go online, download one of these charts for yourself. It's very handy to go. So what we've done there, as I said, we've dropped out with the copper, we've dropped out any mercury that was in there, any silver, any gold, any platinum is dropped out now, and we're going to go and we're going to try and get our copper back. Is our next part on our second video. So thanks for watching this video. As always, really appreciate all the new subscribers. If you have any questions, guys, don't hesitate to come on to the live on a Sunday night. We'll try and answer as many questions as we can for people, whether it's scrap metal, gold recovery, whatever you're into. Come on to the live and ask your questions. It's a good way of answering questions for people because we have different opinions on stuff on it. So I hope this video was a help to anyone that wants to know what to do with their waste materials and why you should never throw away your waste materials. So as always, appreciate you watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Oh, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you're not a subscriber.